Greetings nerdy list aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd, and today we're going to be filling you in on some facts surrounding DC's Birds of Prey, because well, at the time of this recording there's a movie coming up, but it seems to be pretty heavy on the Harley and kinda sorta showing the rest of the team. But Birds of Prey have an interesting history and are fairly recent, only debuting in 1996 in Black Canary / Oracle Birds of Prey #1. So let's fill you in on some facts. These are the top 10 shocking Birds of Prey facts you need to know. You know it hurt us to not put scary in the title. I will never be the same again. Let's get started. Number 10. There used to be just 2 of them. When it first started, there were only 2 members, and you may be able to glean who they were based on the title of the first issue: Black Canary and Oracle Barbara Gordon. Oracle being the role she had taken on since The Killing Joke, which had been an Elseworld story, but it was so well received it ended up having a real impact on main canon. So Barbara had become wheelchair bound after being shot by the Joker, and was the information broker for the Bat family and the Birds of Prey. She then would learn hand-to-hand combat so she could still kick butt. Oracle was an amazing character, unpopular opinion, but to me, better than her is Batgirl. Blasphemy, I know, but she's Batgirl again anyway, so it's fine. No matter the roster, Black Canary and Barbara would be the core of the team, until the New 52, where Barbara would leave the team for a bit after regaining the use of her legs. Number 9. There was a TV show. It was super short-lived, but it happened. 13 episodes, and it had the most 90s grunge rock theme. I can't play it, but look it up. Now people think this show is from the 90s, you know, the giant leather coats and what have you, but those people are wrong. This series came out in 2002 on the WB, you know, before it was the CW. And while it has some ideas that will be revisited by later shows, but also some ones that were just dropped forever. This series takes place in New Gotham City, which is just Gotham, but after it had been abandoned by Batman. Did he actually abandon it? Well, we'll never know. There are only 13 episodes. Also in this, Black Canary was not Black Canary, but a telepath, a metahuman who would have premonitions of doom. Huntress was also a metahuman who could shift into a cat form, because she was the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, her original origin pre-Crisis. Not the cat transformation part, the being their daughter part. The only person who has her backstory is Barbara. This show went a little rogue, but it was pre-social media era, or the big boom of it anyway. Can you imagine if they tried to do this today? Okay, hear us out. Black Canary changed into a real canary. People would flip tables. Number 8. Black Canary's wig. Now modern day Black Canary is blonde, but not a real blonde. A woman who dyes her hair? Give me a moment while I faint. That's too shocking. Well, actually her dyeing her hair is a retcon, or rather an update. Classic Black Canary had a wig, and it was so intense they even changed the shape of her head. However, over time people began to think, well, couldn't someone just snatch her wig? She's gonna get her wig snatched, I don't care how good it is. It's coming off her head. This can lead to some confusion when people pick up older comics and see her in Ollie and go, who is that? Who's that dark-haired woman? That's her. Do you miss the wig? Let me know. I love wigs. If I was a superhero, I'd have so many wigs. If I was a villain, I'd have a helmet and a wig. Number 7. Their name has no purpose. So Birds of Prey is a pretty cool name, and at first it kind of fits. I mean, Barbara was Batgirl, but a bat's not a bird, but it has wings, but I've made enough reaches here to give one to Barbara. And Oracle was Black Canary, but the rest of the team, not bird themed. Sometimes we get members who are bird themed, but it's incidental. The name is just a name. And this would become a running joke, with allies even asking them why were they called that. Ted Kord, the second Blue Beetle, would be one of those people. This was back after the JLI, the Justice League International, so he had a bit more of a jokey persona. Speaking of Ted, in at number 6, Ted and Barbara. Now Ted Kord was here in this comic initially because he had a crush on Barbara Gordon. There has been a bit of a couple war since New Teen Titans, which gave the world Corey and Dick. So that was between the pairing of Starfire and Nightwing and the pairing of Nightwing and Oracle or Batgirl. Which do you like? Fight down below. Or really, please don't. Just tell me which one you like. Well, Ted Kord was introduced as a bit of a wild card. He was really into how smart Barbara was and her outlook on life post-paralysis, which was to keep on keeping on and making the world a better place, making a difference. This wouldn't go anywhere because Ted Kord would be murdered by Maxwell Lord in Countdown to Infinite Crisis. And well, things are different since the New 52 and Rebirth. Number 5. Another perspective. One of the runs that is quite celebrated for Birds of Prey is the first Gail Simone run. She's done more than one. And with her runs, she oftentimes sought to undo what she saw as damage or a flippancy towards these female characters. She got into quite the tiff with the author of Cry for Justice, James Robinson, when he had Hal Jordan Gordon proclaimed that he had had a threesome with the Huntress and Lady Blackhawk. Although, in all fairness, Hal didn't bring this up, Ollie did, and yet Hal gets all the hate. Still, this line, well, it didn't really need to be in the issue. It's kind of a throwaway line, but it annoyed Simone as she felt it was degrading to the characters in her book. So she wrote a retaliation line, wherein Hal had gotten blackout drunk and the threesome had never happened. Using characters as pawns in personal feuds, mileage varies. Both instances are, well, they don't really enrich either of their comics, do they? Still, stuff like this happens, and it's always fascinating to watch when it does. Number 4. Stance on lethal force. Now, most superheroes have a very staunch no-killing policy. It's how we draw the line, but the Birds of Prey would end up coming to have a laxer view of it, especially after coming up against the Secret Six. Now, one member who was always down for a good kill was the Huntress. In fact, it was the brutality of her actions that was part of what got her kicked out of the Justice League of America. And for a while, the rest of the team, especially Oracle, a member of the Bat family who may as well have a don't kill crest on their costumes, despite the fact that sometimes they do, was really against this and wanted her to change her ways. However, she would later come to apologize to Huntress and feel that sometimes lethal force was necessary. Number 3. Connection to Harley. So the movie that is coming out is largely featuring Harley Quinn, which to some is perplexing. Harley wasn't an original member of this team, but I mean she wasn't an original member of the Suicide Squad either. However, this isn't the first time she has been attached to a Birds of Prey endeavor. Let's go back to that early 2000s series. Harley featured heavily in that, and it was an interesting take on her character. Yes, she was the Joker's ex, but she was also a cunning and manipulative sociopath in her own right. She was his girlfriend while he was out, and not his doctor, so she was still a practicing psychologist during the series. She was in New Gotham to achieve revenge for what they had done to her Mr. J. It was an interesting rendition, more cold and calculating than she usually is, but no less dangerous. I liked it. The show though. Number 2. Barbara's retcon. So Gail Simone also took huge issue with Batgirl's paralysis, feeling it was an example of fridging and that it should never have happened, and yet she would write Oracle as an amazingly compelling character. However, when she got the chance, she would retcon the paralysis. This would occur in the New 52. Barbara was still shot, but she got better. This ended up being a polarizing retcon. While some felt that the paralysis should never have happened, a point people also don't agree on, many felt Oracle was amazing and a cool character, and also strong rep for the physically disabled. And so to have that taken away to fix a mistake, some deemed as ableism, while others were on the Babs is the best Batgirl train, forget Oracle, magic those legs better. If Bruce can have his spine snapped and be fine, then Barbara can be fine too. For others, it was yet another case of back to the status quo, which can be quite tiresome for longtime fans. And others felt, why not retcon out the whole shooting, since the Killing Joke is a non-canon story anyways. There's lots of feelings around this. I like discussing it, but people get triggered. I like a good triggering, but the fun, rousing discussion kind, not the I'm sitting outside your kid's school and calling your job kind. They're different. Very different. And number 1. It houses the gayest panel? So Chuck Dixon's run is said to house the gayest DC panel. Now that's a bold claim, but it's a pretty gay panel, look at it. This is the panel of Black Canary cradling Oracle after saving her, as she asks her to call her Barbara, which she does. Ooh, calm down, this is a family-friendly channel. No, it's not. This would be read through a queer lens by many fans. I mean, it is hard to read it how Dixon intended, just friends saving each other. It's just not drawn that way. This would lead into the speculation that Black Canary was bisexual. In fact, there's a line that is said to have been cut from one issue where she says that she's 75% straight. But whatever the case, we will always have this panel. Call me Barbara. Why did I give her a terrible Batman voice? Because I could. So those were 10 shocking facts about the Birds of Prey. Did you know all of them? Are you excited for the latest adaptation at the time of this recording? Share all your thoughts down below. I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.